Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to iTouch App Reviewers. In this video, I've got a couple stories to go over with you guys regarding the iPhone 11 as well as the iPhone XR replacements, whatever it's going to be called, and iOS 13, so let's jump right into it. A questionable rumor here says iOS 13 will drop support for iPhone 5S, 6, 6 Plus, and SE models. Now, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I put out a poll, and here's what you guys said. So I tweeted out reports that, they're going to drop the support. 29% of you said you don't care, 14% said they should support all these phones, and 57% said just the SE should be supported. I'm going to kind of look at Apple's role here for a second. If Apple doesn't support all of these phones, that leaves more time for them to focus on the newer phones, which most of you guys probably have. I would personally rather them put their resources towards the newer phones and ironing that out, because iOS has been a little bit rocky lately, at least from iOS 11 to 12. So let's get iOS 13 done right. So the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus only have 1 gig of RAM. So I think the 5S as well. So it makes sense for them to not be supported. They're on older platforms. Now the SE actually has 2 gigs of RAM, if I'm not mistaken, and the same chip as the 6S. So if they drop the SE, I think a lot of people will be mad. I think it's more likely that they'll just drop the 5S, the 6, and the 6 Plus and keep the SE around. But we'll see. A lot of people still use the SE and they like it, so hey, more power to them. So let's just quickly go over the 2019 iPhones. They can charge AirPods, cameras will have increased zoom and auto correction feature. So here are some of the leaks that we've got so far. By the way, this render right here is quite possibly what we will see, so stay tuned to this channel because I'll let you guys know if it changes, but right now it's kind of looking like this, which is kind of ugly, but we'll talk about it here in a sec. All three iPhones will look similar to the current versions beyond additional cameras, including the triple lens rear camera on the back and dual lens on the XR. The XS and XS Max, or the next generation of them, will be about 0.5 millimeter thicker. The third camera on the next iPhone XS and XS Max will be an ultra wide angle lens that enables a broader range of zoom. The second rear camera on the next iPhone XR will enable increased zoom as well. Obviously, they're going to have the A13 chip, manufactured by TSMC, which is perfect. Early test production began in April, and mass production could begin as early as this month. All three iPhones will have a feature that lets the user charge the latest AirPods and other devices by placing them on the back of the phone, basically just like Samsung came out with. So you can place your AirPods right there, charge them up on the go if you need. Apple is working on an auto correction feature to fit people back into a photo who may have been accidentally cut out. So that would be pretty cool if they could actually get that feature right. That would be pretty cool. I think that would be something that a lot of people would use because, especially the older generation, they're not so good with taking pictures on an iPhone. Now here's just a quick fun one for you guys. If you're looking for the iPhone XR successor, the next one, they could replace coral and blue options with green and lavender. So I don't think coral and blue actually sold too well. For some reason, I thought the blue was really a nice color, but I guess a lot of people didn't get it. It is kind of a baby blue. I probably wouldn't use it, but I like to look at it, if that makes sense. Coral was kind of a troll color. Like, colors are all over the place with Apple, so they might actually switch this up. That would be pretty cool as well. So yeah, I think those two colors will sell pretty well, especially with the younger generation and probably more towards girls, especially for purple. Now here is kind of the big main story of today that I wanted to get to. The Apple Watch to get a standalone app store. iOS 13 will have an all new sleep mode and more. So let's quickly talk about all these different OSs. iOS 13, which by the way, will be released, at least in beta form, in about a month, a little bit less. So I'm super psyched to get that. Obviously stay tuned to the channel because I will be making lots of videos going over that. And I will have the first public beta as soon as it's available. So the main feature here, dark mode, can be toggled in Control Center. Obviously that's something we need. A new system-wide sleep mode that can be toggled in Control Center to turn on Do Not Disturb, darken the lock screen, and mute all notifications. This is said to be tied to improvements to the bedtime app in the Clocks app, bedtime tab, whatever. I don't use that, but I definitely get a lot of notifications at night, so that would be actually something pretty cool. A revamped Messages app with WhatsApp-like feature that enables users to set a profile picture and a display name, choose who sees it, and a dedicated menu for Animoji and Memoji stickers. As long as they can keep the security and privacy of iMessage the way it is now or better, I'm all for it. I think that would be super cool to be able to like set a profile picture and display name and everything for people that you're texting. So anything with the Messages app I like because I use that app quite a bit. That would be super fun. A revamped Maps app will make it easier to set frequent locations like home, work addresses, and navigate there. So that's cool. Revamped Reminders app with default sections laid out in a grid. Definitely looking forward to that. I've been using Reminders app more and more. Yes, I'm going to talk a little bit faster because I don't want this video to be too long for you guys. Revamped Books app, which probably no one cares about. Revamped Health app. A revamped Mail app with the ability to mute individual threads, block incoming email from certain contacts, and simpler folder management. All of that sounds great. New default swipe-based keyboard like SwiftKey. This one is actually a bigger feature if it's true. A lot of people have been wanting a swipe-based keyboard, and they don't want to use a third-party one because obviously it's like a keylogger. They can see every tap you make. So this would actually be pretty cool. So hopefully Apple does that. I don't know if I'd use it, but it sounds cool. Now, a new feature here that will let users use their iPad as an external display for a Mac, complete with support for Apple Pencil, notifications, and more. That would be pretty cool as well. Combine Find My iPhone and Find My Friends app, and possibly a tile-like tag tracking for devices. I did report on this before. It would be kind of cool, but I don't know about the tile part. If they could do that, it'd be pretty sweet, but I think just them combining these two apps is more likely. But if they throw that in there, hey, I'm all for it. User interface tweaks, including a new animation when launching the multitasking pane and closing apps, and tweaks to the home screen on iPad. iPad is getting some unique features, including an updated interface for multitasking, tweaks to the home screen, ability to cycle through different versions of the same app. All of that sounds really cool. It sounds like they're making the iPad kind of more of a pro machine, something more oriented for people actually using this for business or taking notes. So that's super cool. Definitely like the changes that they're making there. A more comprehensive accessibility menu, and performance improvements and bug fixes, obviously. On macOS, I'll just quickly run through this. iPhone and iPad apps can easily be ported to Mac with new SDK. They're calling Marzipan for now. This is said to be the first step in a plan to merge iPhone, iPad, Mac apps into a single package that can run on any of the devices by 2021. So you got a couple years. Podcasts and merged Find My iPhone and Find My Friends apps, screen time on Mac, iMessage stickers and effects, and Siri shortcut integration. Wow, I'm almost out of breath. All right, watchOS, a dedicated app store on the Apple Watch itself. Now, if this actually happens, this seems like Apple's trying to take the Apple Watch dependency away from the iPhone, which means in the future, we could see an Apple Watch that you don't have to have an iPhone paired to. That's something that I guess Android users could get in on. I don't know. I don't know how that would work, but it would be pretty cool. And it kind of seems like they're doing that. They're just kind of taking it away from the iPhone a little bit. And I'm all for it. That's cool. So we'll see what they do there. Voice memos, calculator, and books apps going to be added. Dose and cycles apps for pill reminders and menstrual cycle tracking respectively. If you need that, you got it. Animoji and Memoji sticker support in sync with iPhone. New watch faces, including one with a custom gradient design and at least 2 extra large versions with a very large font. New complications for audiobooks, battery life of hearing aids, and more. Apple is also said to be planning to let the HomePod respond to multiple users in a future software update tied to iOS 13. So obviously these are just rumors. We're not entirely sure on any of them. Please keep that in mind. But we're pretty close to release of this, and this is super exciting. I think iOS 13 is going to be nice. I hope there are some changes to the user interface, because this looks pretty stale. I mean, we've had it for what, like 12 years now, the same look. I know iOS 7 kind of changed it, but the same grid icon look. Hopefully they can change it somehow, but keep it feeling like an iPhone. I'm all for it. So this has been a super long video. It's going to take forever to edit and upload, but I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something. If you did, please hit it with a thumbs up and subscribe, share it with your friends, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.